given what we know about the state of the town's finances and the economy in general, should we even be requesting anything for fiscal 10, or should we just take everything off the list, but just have some sort of handout at town meeting like this that kind of shows the needs that we expect? I mean, I don't know if I don't know how open they're going to be to any of these items. How badly do we need that truck, for example? You would know.
Well, two thoughts come to mind. I think a discussion of capital at the next finance planning team meeting is probably appropriate, so we can get a sense for what our integrated response is going to be. If there's a feeling that we can invest a sum of money, then we can come back to the school committee and make a recommendation for what our primary objective might be. We keep changing. Sometimes we say don't go in October for capital. Sometimes we say, it's been an October, April dialogue every year. To your question about the pickup truck, we can wait another year there. It is moving into a repair era, but my recommendation would be to talk to the finance planning team to see what the town wishes to do. I'd like to make one other comment about capital. The town and school utilized the services of a consultant hired by RMLD, Reading Municipal Light Department, over the spring to look at energy conservation projects within all of our town buildings. And a report was just issued. And there are projects that have conservative payback periods, meaning, if you invest $50,000 in something, you literally can save that amount of money in energy, whether it be gas or electricity, in a year and a half, let's say. So I've got a sense that the chairman of the board, Mr. Mosseri, might be interested in a combined school-town energy investment for municipal buildings for projects that would have short payback periods. And I think he noted that he was going to take the lead on discussing that. So that might be something that's out there as well.
So we've already voted on these. So the ones that are under fiscal year 10, we voted on those in October, right?
But we never, I think you voted on them, but then correct me if I'm wrong, we never decided to bring them to town meeting.
Okay.
A little over a year and a half ago, I replaced the boiler at home. And it was an older boiler, like 40 years. And I tracked what the difference in fuel consumption is on a degree day basis. And in the past year and a half, I've saved over 40% on that improvement. That makes the payback pretty quick. Yeah. And we have boilers here that are 30 years old or more, and it may very well be that the report will show, I don't know whether they went into the boilers or not, but that the report will show what an effect that is. Certainly, uninsulated glass windows are another area where windows, by their nature, just glass is almost a clear run. But if you have draft from those windows, if they're leaking, it's another huge energy consumer. And those are things that we should really do as a town and if we're going to live in this building, then we should make those changes. Insulation has a very, very short term payback, very, very quick.
So we need to take a vote tonight to determine if we're going to submit any of these for the October town meeting? That's what
Do we have time to wait for the next finance planning meeting?
No, it says the deadline, oh yeah, maybe for the next, but we won't be able to have a school committee meeting because our school committee meeting is a day after the deadline, the next school committee meeting. So we, as a committee, need to vote tonight.
I'd move that we bring them to town meeting, and that way we'll be letting the town know what these things are about and make a presentation to the town. And if the town decides that they don't want to, then they won't. But we should at least bring these things forward.
I think so too.
Otherwise, all we get, and forgive me, audience, but all we get is a very small audience,
Right.
and that isn't really the whole town.
Yeah.
I'll second Cliff's motion.
So we have a motion by Mr. Bowers, seconded by Mr. Venezia, that we bring the large capital items that we voted on last October, we bring those to town meeting this October. We have a motion and a second. Any further comment? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. I think that's it for
Thank you.
Carl's dues. Thanks, Carl. And I should thank, no one's thanked Carl tonight for all of his work on this Munis project, which, he does rule, that's true. But his
Get with it, Mel.
but his effort has also been outstanding, and I just, I want to thank Carl, and I know the committee wants to thank Carl, and I know Ms. Sada already told Carl that he rules, which I agree with. So thanks, Carl, for all
And
your
I'll be
work on
happy
that,
to
too.
second that.
Second. Thank you.
And I'll put it out on Twitter.
And Facebook and everything else. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
One quick item, and then we'll get to, we have our annual review of the curriculum update with Ms. Bowden. Just quickly, one item, school building projects. I know that, I think the only thing we have on here that's active right now is the turf field project. And the bid's been accepted, the low bid, and was approved by selectmen. And I was in contact with Ms. Mullen today, and she said she believes that next Tuesday, they'll be erecting the construction fence, the privacy fence, to keep people out while construction goes on. So that sounds to me like they're gonna be starting construction next week. So she also told me that because of how low the bids came in for everything, if we don't have to go too deeply into the contingency fund, there could be a large sum of money put toward the future lights project for the field. So it's all moving along very well, and I know that they're coordinating with the high school principal for staging, et cetera, because when the kids get back to school in September, that'll obviously be an issue, although they could have, 6-7 weeks of construction in, 6 weeks construction in by that time. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. David?
No, there was also a question about the press box. I mean,
Oh,
they're
right.
replacing the bleachers and the press box, so there was I guess an idea of moving the current one. So I don't know, I've not heard any.
The last I heard was that the building inspector said that that wasn't going to be feasible. I believe there's also been discussion about the press box in terms of the naming issue in the new press box, and I think that's being worked through in a satisfactory way. But I don't think they're gonna be able to move that existing press box. But we will, for everybody.
Because that's well constructed.
I know. So everybody's clear, there will be, the bleachers will be part of this project. So we will have, hopefully on Thanksgiving Day, we'll have 1,200 people sitting in the
Yeah,
bleachers.
maybe we might.
Cheering on.
You open a new stadium. I was at Gillette when they opened it.
Same thing, right?
It was- What about the sign out in front? The sign for the high school that's on the football field, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that might, I wonder if that's gonna have to be moved.
I was just curious. That was a gift from one of the classes, I think. and,
You know the sign that says,
what's
final
going on,
start
the
next
events- the
week?
event sign.
or-
It's
Oh,
fairly.
Yeah, that might have,
Yeah.
Has a green,
Mm-hmm.
that was actually a grant.
But-
I thought you were gonna ask about the
Fiscal-
Crescent Field is dedicated to,
Arthur Kenny's.
But that sign is right there on the field.
Oh,
Is that
it's gotta
gonna
be
have-
moved.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be moved?
it's gonna be
Okay,
moved,
it
yeah.
can be moved though, right? It doesn't,
yes,
yeah,
yes, it's electrified, but.
Right.
okay.
okay. Great. So that's good news. We're gonna have a lot of activity in the center of town, starting next week. And hopefully they'll be playing football there on Thanksgiving, or maybe even sooner. Okay, great. Next we have our Curriculum and Technology Director, Pam Bodwin. And she's going to fill us in on the curriculum.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good.
Karen, welcome. We haven't officially met.
I know, we have.
We've kind of crossed paths at opposite times, but not caught up. We will eventually. Couple of updates before I launch into what you have in your packet, which is the draft of the 5-year curriculum review plan and just my annual update, which we usually do in the spring, but with everything that was going on, it's been pushed back a little bit, which is actually my favorite report to give, even though I'm under the order of brevity.
Well, I was gonna point that out to Karen, amongst all the great qualities, one of them is she's unbelievably concise when she comes in here.
I try.
Especially in the summer.
I figure the rain's working in my favor today.
Yeah, she doesn't need it.
One update, I'm unplugged tonight, first of all, no PowerPoint, it's all in front of you, and the plan is to have it posted on the website, which is my update to you that our website's down. EdNets has incurred a problem with our site, Georgetown site is down as well, so we're working with them to get that back up. That's the master site, the North Reading district site, and then all of the child sites off of it, which are each of the schools.
Oh, so that's why when I go to the site, it said success.
Yeah, it's not some coded
That, I was wondering what
some
was going
coded
on there,
message.
I was like, what the, alright.
Was it hacked or we had hosting issue?
Hosting issue. And some personnel turnover within the company. They're trying to chase down who they're supposed to contact.
Fun.
So we're working with them daily. Just, you know, for point on the record is we don't host and we're not responsible for the hosting, so we're kind of working with our vendor to do it, even though it's an interesting arrangement. We can talk, and that's a different night. That's been a long term. But we have a lot up there. My concern for the public is that we have our summer assignments up there. Reading assignments are up there, reading lists are posted on the website, summer math assignments are up there, online payments are also being conducted through the site. So the goal is to have that back up and running as soon as possible, hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow.
Now, okay, because the online payments, we have that penalty issue, and if people can't get to the site and make their payments,
It shouldn't be that long-term.
okay.
That impacts the August 15th deadline, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, we
Okay.
should be in shape this week.
The other, before you get into your
Yep,
report, the other
that's
thing
fine.
I noticed on the, on some of the math assignments I was reviewing last week before the site went down, it notes to the students at 7th grade, 8th grade, to have them done for the first day of school, Thursday, September 10th, and we're not doing that this year. Everybody's going to school on Wednesday, correct? So I don't know if you want to speak to the head of the math department, because the kids are gonna be all back in school on Wednesday. We're not doing that, 6th grade, first day, and then everybody the next day. So they may just wanna put a note on the website.
I believe it's just a wording issue, because I think they do have them do 10th be the last, that Friday of that week, perhaps.
No, it's the
The Thursday.
first day of school is the 9th, and it says, please have these ready for the first day of school, the 10th of September, so,
Okay. So I will call
Just wanted
Ms.
to note
Moody
that.
and we will take care of that.
okay, thanks.
Okay, so in terms of the two documents in front of you, the first one you have, the black and white document. I'm not gonna read through the whole thing for you. Obviously, you've seen this before, it's posted on the website. We came up with one 5 years ago. This is generally our game plan for the next 5 years for curriculum councils. Our councils are subject area groups, K-12, that meet on a monthly basis to continually review curriculum, changes in practice, changes in state requirements for standards, changes in pedagogy, and continually update what we have so we're as current as possible. This is what we perceive to be the hot topics for each of the coming years. This is a living, breathing document. It changes all the time. The budget is a big driver behind it, especially when you get to our anticipated need for materials and supplies, which is a major piece is the book adoption or software adoption. We've been off track for a couple of years, but been able to maintain pretty much our goals. Financially this year, you'll see it in the other report, we are kind of on hold for textbooks for the fall. We're gonna look to make a resolution on that, of how we're gonna handle it in the next couple of weeks. We had two previously adopted series, the Spanish series, Avancemos, and the Language of Literature series for the middle school. Grade 8 is up to be purchased this year, and the third in the series for the Spanish is supposed to be purchased this year, and with all of the budget concerns, it's been on hold. So we're working to find a solution to that. That's of concern to me because it's the third in the series in both cases. So it's followed a particular group of students where now they've had access to the new materials, the new online tools, and they'll be coming into a grade level where they may be reverting back to an older tool. Our teachers will, of course, make adaptations, work with class